The world of deep-sea diving is as fascinating as it is dangerous. It's a place where human innovation meets the raw, unforgiving power of nature. Saturation divers, those who work at extreme depths for long periods, face incredible risks every day. Crushing pressure, pitch-black darkness, and total reliance on technology to keep them alive. But when things go wrong, the results can be catastrophic. Two tragedies, decades apart, highlight the dangers of this world. The Byford Dolphin accident in 1983 and the Paria diving disaster in 2022. Let's start with the Byford Dolphin. It's probably one of the most infamous diving accidents in history. Back in November 1983, this oil rig in the North Sea was carrying out a routine decompression procedure, something the crew had done countless times. Saturation divers were transferring between a pressurized diving bell and a chamber when disaster struck. Someone released a clamp too early, and the system explosively decompressed in the blink of an eye. To put it in perspective, the pressure went from 9 atmospheres to 1 in less than a second. The consequences were immediate and horrifying. The divers in the chamber didn't stand a chance. The gases in their tissues expanded so violently that their bodies suffered unimaginable trauma. One diver, standing closest to the opening, was torn apart. 4 people died instantly, and a 5th survived, but with severe injuries. The accident shocked the diving world. It exposed serious flaws in equipment design and safety procedures, forcing the industry to take a hard look at its practices. Over time, new technologies like hyperbaric lifeboats and remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, were developed, reducing the number of divers exposed to such dangerous conditions. It was a wake-up call, but as history shows, lessons sometimes take a while to fully sink in. Fast forward to February 2022. Off the coast of Trinidad and Tobago, another tragedy unfolded, eerily similar to the Byford Dolphin disaster. It happened during what was supposed to be a routine maintenance job at Paria's Pointe-à-Pierre harbor. Divers were working on an underwater pipeline when a surge of water unexpectedly sucked 5 of them into the pipe. What followed was nothing short of a nightmare. The divers were trapped in a maze-like pipeline, unable to find their way out. Rescue teams struggled with poor visibility, limited equipment, and the complexity of the situation. Hours turned into days, and the chances of survival dwindled. In the end, 4 divers lost their lives. Only 1 made it out alive. A bittersweet miracle in an otherwise tragic story. This disaster reignited debates about safety in the diving industry. Why, people asked, hadn't the lessons of past tragedies like Byford Dolphin been fully applied? Investigations pointed to gaps in risk assessment, emergency preparedness, and the equipment available for such scenarios. It was a harsh reminder that even with decades of advancements, mistakes still happen, and the cost is often human lives. Both accidents underline the same truth. Working underwater is unbelievably dangerous, no matter how advanced the technology. The changes after the Byford Dolphin disaster, better equipment, stricter safety protocols, and more reliance on ROVs, did make diving safer. The Paria tragedy has already sparked calls for even more improvements, especially in emergency response and training. But here's the thing. As industries push for deeper exploration and more complicated underwater projects, the risks only grow. Even with state-of-the-art technology, no system is perfect. And when something fails, the consequences can be devastating. These stories aren't just about accidents, they're about the people behind them. The divers who lost their lives and those who risk theirs daily are at the heart of this. Their stories remind us that every safety regulation and every piece of technology is about protecting lives, not just pushing boundaries. So, while the Byford Dolphin and Paria disasters are tragic, they've also been catalysts for change. They've forced industries to innovate, to think harder about safety, and to never stop improving. But they also leave us with tough questions. How much risk is too much? And at what point does the drive for profit and progress outweigh the human cost? These aren't easy questions to answer, but they're important ones. And as long as we keep learning from the past, there's hope we can make the future safer for those who brave the depths.